Good morning, Vietnam. Back home. And I want to show you guys something. So, I ended off on the last video explaining the decision I'm making and the schedule that I wanted to create. And I've created the schedule, but in order to kind of explain it, I need to explain the habit I have, which is journaling. Now, not in the sense of like talking about my feelings, but I just journal my goals for the year, my goals for the month, my goals for the week, and my goals for the day. And then I also just write down, I log what habits I completed in the day, and I also write down interesting things I learned or like awakenings I had, just so I have like a log of it. So then when I like flip through, I can look at the information again and further internalize it. So I think it's a really good habit, but what I was going to show you now is since I had the decision to wake up at 4 every day for the upcoming semester, so I'm going to be up at 4. My morning habit is going to be 4.5 hours, but it's not like the morning habit that you see with like millionaires, because as I mentioned, their habits are different now because they're more focused on their health because they already have they already have the freedom because of the wealth they've accumulated. But the habits that got them to accumulate that wealth are different than what they're doing to maintain their health. So my morning routine is like 4.5 hours, but it is comprised of 100 minutes of trading or studying the markets. I think that my best bet is to go all in on one asset class, really learn the inner workings of it, and see how profitable I can become and how much I can multiply my wealth by. And I think that because I'm so young, I can choose the asset class with the highest multiplier, because if I lose it all, I can just make it all back. And that understanding and that belief allows me to take a lot of emotions out of the trade, even though it's so risky. So the asset class, I'm sure a lot of you have guessed, it's going to be Bitcoin. I will be trading some long-term trades. I'll be learning some short-term trades. But mainly the short-term trades are going to be for me to kind of learn how to trade. So that's going to be 100 minutes of trading. And within trading too, I have a lot of really good sources. I feel like I think I've kind of cut out a lot of the noise. I only really listen to 5. I mean, right now I listen to like 2 or 3 people. I cut out a lot of the people that are just kind of there to have fun and there to promote their projects. I'm listening to people that they gain their financial freedom through trading, so it works. The other habit is making the bed. So I'm going to do, I think the time I'm going to work on trading is going to change. I'll slowly increase it up to 100 minutes, so we'll see. But however long I do for trading, and then I'll make the bed within a time frame so that I can kind of let my brain wander and kind of reset my focus. And then I'm going to do 100 minutes on my side hustle. The goal is 100 minutes, but I understand like how habits are formed, so I'm going to start a little bit smaller just so I don't burn out. So that's 100 minutes. And since I'm up at 4, it's like 3 hours plus the bed making. It's probably like 3.5, 4 hours total. And then I'll have like 30 minutes for a walk, a tan. I'm going to start drinking this. I don't know if it's a shake, but it's like it has a bunch of vitamins in it. It's similar to like AG1 Enzo Greens, but it's something that was recommended to me by someone I trust. So I'm going to try that out in the morning and see if it recharges me for the rest of the day. And then the afternoon, I'm going to have the same. I eat in a 4-hour window and I eat 3,000 calories roughly a day. So I'm going to read after my first meal or around that same time frame. And my meals are probably going to be 2 to 6, and then I'll vlog something every day for this. And then at night, I just stretch and I shower. Haircut! I feel like it fits me more. And I also don't have to worry about one less thing for headspace. So, haircut. I've opened a trading account and I've made this. So essentially, I have a different broker and then the total returns. So right now I had made a Binance long, and that was literally the day I made that was the day CZ was kind of forced to step down. So that shit tanked. I stopped it out before the stop loss, but it would have gone way past. I opened a Bitcoin short. I think I don't remember what day that was, but that one hit. And then I tried to do a short-term time frame, and it just didn't work. And then they charged me like a crazy trading fee. So that was interesting. But ultimately, what I'm trying to gain from this is, use a small amount of money, but understand that when you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. And I have a little bit of money, so I'm using it to this advantage. But I have everything to gain and nothing to lose, because if I lose all this money, I can just make it all back. And throughout this process of using the money that I don't currently need for like monthly expenses or for me to just like operate in life, I can afford to lose this money is what I'm saying. So me learning about all this with a smaller amount of money will then give me the knowledge and the perspective to do it with a lot more money, because as the money increases, so do the emotions, because you get more emotionally attached. But if I can kind of learn to not be emotionally attached to it, just look at the data and say, okay, this happened because of Y, and figure out the reason, learn from it. So I think this is a great idea, and I love making spreadsheets, so this was kind of fun to make. Last thing, I think I have a very good, I wouldn't say informants, but where I get the information from, I think I found some good, authentic people, which is always what I try and look out for now. It's I can kind of tell when they're going for money, so that's nice. But I found one guy that his name's Karushe K, and I took his free trading course. It taught me a lot about like general technical analysis. And then I also follow Eric Krohn for his technical analysis. I haven't bought any of his indicators, but I watch his video every morning. And so I'm kind of getting myself into the perspective of how these guys think, what they look for, what they see on a chart, to ultimately multiply the wealth that I create. And I understand that this is a small amount of money in the grand scheme of things. But I do think it's very good to learn the skill. I'm not necessarily certain I want to become like a full-time trader, but I definitely want to understand technical analysis and know that I can do it, know that I can be profitable. So that's currently what I'm working towards. The data set for today will be about the portrayal of events. So I saw the new Napoleon movie. I think Ridley Scott was on the production team. Good movie, good cinematography, good acting. Love Joaquin Phoenix. But the portrayal of Napoleon was interesting, and granted, I don't have the most extensive knowledge on French history, but just the way they kind of went about explaining what he did when he was in power was interesting. They spent a lot of time on his downfall, and they spent a lot of time talking about how he kind of just seeked out war. And there may be some truth to this, but I don't think they necessarily showed his... I don't necessarily think they showed how great of a general he was and how smart he was before his ego kind of overtook him. And it's kind of obvious to see, knowing what I know, why they portrayed him this way. Like, I just see it so much differently now because of the whole state banking thing, and especially the time that he came to power. it just kind of makes sense in my mind why they want to portray him this way now, especially with their agendas, and it's just kind of goes back to the point that I wanted to get to was movies and books are simply a portrayal of the events by flawed beings, and kind of what this means is humans are flawed. We have our own agendas. We have different things we want to get out of whatever we do. So they may look at the events, they may look at the history of events, and only, not lie, but they may only tell part of the truth, which to some is a lie, but that is what they do. And especially with movies, right? Like, you only have a certain budget, you have a certain time frame. There's only so much you can put in it. And especially then you add in the fact that they have their own agenda and they have their own, what they want to push about the guy and what they want people to think about him. You got to seek out other information because you can't just go off that. So it's kind of a life lesson to seek out all information, seek out different points of views, instead of just using one source of evidence, if you can call this movie that, as the way to perceive how that person was, which is what a lot of people do, which is it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Just wanted to clarify something really quickly. So I'm developing the habit of waking up at 4 a.m. next semester, and I'll be consistent and committed to that habit. But I'm not going to be one of these guys that says, you have to do it this way. You have to wake up 4 a.m. You have to do a certain thing to be successful. Since successful is subjective, then so is your habit to get there. So you have to look at your goal and you have to look at what you want to obtain. And then you have to then work your way down to figure out what habits are going to get you there. And I want this success. I want this monetary value in this world. And I then analyze myself and analyze when I work the best. And I work the best when I wake up first thing in the morning. And if I have a day job from 9 to 5, well, I want my most productive work to be on something working for myself, right? And I understand that job is bringing me in money and bringing me cash flow, but I want my passions and the things for me to be what my most productive hours are based upon. So, if I want to work 3 hours before I start my job and I want 3 hours on my most productive mindset, then, well, I have to position myself where I have those most productive hours on what is working for me. And so it's merely energy input, energy output, and analyzing myself. So yeah, that's a little brain spasm on you guys. It's probably be the end of this one. I'm excited for this next week, and today was actually this morning. I tried waking up at 4 a.m. and when you first wake up, you're a little groggy because you don't have oxygen in your system. But you get into it, and it's 8:30 now, so I've been up 4.5 hours. I've gone on a walk, but I've basically been working, minus the little breaks, for this whole time, and it's seeming to work well. So I'm excited for the future and excited for what this habit's going to bring me. I'm very thankful for it, and I guess we'll see until the next one.